Welcome to the Well-Built Business Podcast. I'm Chelsea Fournier, systems strategist and founder of the Well-Built Business Method. Now, I'll be honest, operations isn't the flashiest part of entrepreneurship. It's not the thing people usually want to focus on, but it is what will keep you in your zone of genius and away from burnout. If you're a service provider or expert-based business owner and you've hit a point where you realize structure, clarity, and clean systems are actually what are going to unlock sustainable growth for you, you're in the right place. Each week, I talk about what it takes to build a business that supports your life, not one that constantly drains it. I'm really glad you're here. Let's dive in. Okay, folks, this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're not diving specifically into one of the pillars of my well-built business method today. We're actually going to be diving into one of my signature offers. We're going to talk about the Rooted VIP Day. Now, before you scoot away, if you're not sure if you're ready to book a VIP day, in this episode, I want you to walk away with a clear understanding of exactly what happens during a VIP day, who it's for, and what you leave with. But also, along the way, I'm going to be dripping in some nuggets and strategic thinking shifts that happen during VIP days so that you can start applying some of that right now, even if you never book one. So before I jump into like the nuts and bolts of what it all is, what I want to share is how this came to be. What happens on a VIP day is a deep transformation. What I have found over the years of just coaching hundreds of small business owners, service providers, expert-led founders, is that there is such a need for spaces where you as the business holder can be held because you're holding space for people every single day, whether it's holding space for clients in your client-based business, right? Whether it is holding space for delegating to a team member, whether it is holding space for your 6-year-old who's having a meltdown, right? You wear many, many hats. And to be able to carve out time to say, I'm going to really focus on my own business and where I want this to go and reconnect to my vision and reconnect to my intuition and creativity, and then how that can lead me into strategy. It's really hard to carve out time to do that for ourselves. And about a year and a half ago, I was really becoming diligent about this concept of seasonal planning. Because as a line 1-3 in human design, as someone who has evolved and changed what's happening in my business from time to time, it has never made sense to me to sit down and make like a 5-year business plan. Because A, things are going to change, I'm going to change, life is going to change, my capacity is going to change by the end of year 1 or year 3, right? And also, I don't get excited about that. And if I'm not excited about it, I'm not going to sit down and implement it. So what I have been toying with over the past several years is looking at my business in 90-day seasons. And I like to align them, just to think about different seasons in the actual natural world, right? I have become a lot more connected to lunar cycles and moon cycles, my own menstrual cycle over the years, and just the concept of everything has a season. And one season can't fit everything into it. That would not happen in nature, and it would certainly not happen in our business. And so about a year and a half ago, while I was running the marketing agency and running a membership and doing some consulting and realizing it was just too out of balance for me, I started to really get focused on what do I want happening in the next 90 days? What's realistic? What's happening in my real life? What's happening? Like, is it summer and I need to be accounting for a drastic change in childcare? Is it winter and I know that I naturally like to be working on more back-end things, right? So really started to get fascinated to a point of like hyperfixation of where does the blend of following my own intuition, tapping into the spiritual and creative side of myself that has created this whole business out of nothing, right? And tying that into strategy, but making sure that the strategy is happening in shorter cycles that I can stay really connected to and I can implement. And what I have found for myself and also for clients who I have taught the seasonal planning method to is that if you can have 2, 3, even ongoing 90-day cycles, 90-day seasons that you're really realistic on, that you follow through on, that you implement on, you will see so much more momentum in those successive seasons than if you set these like big, hairy, audacious goals for the whole year at the beginning of the year and then you peter out, right? And so it can almost feel like limiting to think about, oh, I'm only thinking about what I'm doing in the next 90 days. But you know what? The 90 days are going to happen and they're going to happen quickly because life moves fast. And so then you're planning the next 90 days way sooner than you think. And if you can really master this method, it truly allows for momentum to build without burnout in a way that truly honors your capacity. For me, it has been an absolute game changer. I have seen massive shifts in how I show up, in my energy, in how I honor my capacity, in how I set boundaries, in how I very confidently say yes and no to things because they either do or do not fit in the season and the priorities and goals that I've established. And I am so much clearer on what I do when I drop off my kiddo and come upstairs into my office and I'm like, oh, what do I do when I open my laptop? Okay, let me think about my priorities, my goals, the season, how I'm tracking my tasks, what do I need to automate, delegate? It's like all of this is wrapped into what we do in a VIP day, but it's just in and of itself drastically. Maybe it just feels radical. It feels radical to focus on less for an intensive period of time and do something really well to completion. I feel like with so many squirrel moments and so many platforms and so many ways that we can consume information and get ideas and hear this person who's a TikTok expert and this person who's an email expert and this person, and they all say this is the only way you can grow your business. Well, what if you choose one for the next 90 days and create some simple systems around it and do it long enough to see if it's for you, both from a metric standpoint and an energetic standpoint, and focus on things one at a time. Maybe it's not just one. Like I definitely in each season, I set more of like a theme. Like right now, my theme is rhythm and routines. And previously, my theme was like completion, like doing my rebrand, getting everything up and running on a brand new website. But each season, when I look at it, it breaks down to having one number one priority, three supporting goals that support that priority happening, and then under each goal, really brainstorming and mapping out and working backwards on what would need to be happening, what could be systematized, what could be delegated, what could be automated. And that's what we do in a VIP day. Like, long and short of it, if you're excited about this, you should go explore my calendar and book one because I only book 2 a month. I open up my calendar for 2 of these a month. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation, you will love the Well Built Business Buzz. It's my free weekly newsletter where I share practical systems, behind the scenes decisions, and the operational shifts I'm making in real time and sharing for your benefit. You can join through the link in the show notes. Now, let's get back to it. But let's talk about, that was me. That was my version. I was overwhelmed. I was taking on too much. I was saying yes to things that weren't really my top priority. I was burning the candle at both ends. I was chasing shiny objects, squirrel moments, like just not confident and grounded in the decisions that I was making. And that felt very far from where I have been in the past in running business. And so, similar to me, who this VIP day is really designed for is for established women entrepreneurs who lead with both intuition and strategy. So I am very open about the fact that I am trained and very confident in my psychic abilities, in my intuition, in the ability to channel for others, in the potency of the oracle card readings that I do. There's lots of different facets, different methods and modalities that I have explored in the past for myself and that I also bring out for clients. And so if you are also a woman who likes to explore how intuition or spirituality can actually inform the creativity, the creative juices of how you make decisions, and then the strategy that flows from that, that is why I created this container. So for service providers with professional backgrounds, many of them have been therapists, lawyers, startup founders. I've worked with a leadership coach. I have worked with a physical space owner, like a store owner, speakers, agency owners, coaches, healers, anybody who, like, you are the face, you are the energy going into the business, you're the decision maker, like the bottleneck, right? Everything passes through you. You're not at the beginning of your business. You've built something real, but you're standing at a crossroads. Oftentimes, women book me for a VIP day when they know they're entering a new season. They can almost taste it. It's on the tip of their tongue, how they want to articulate it, or they just want to like scratch the itch of their brain of like, I know if I could just get clear on this one thing, the rest would make sense. That's like number one ding, ding, ding sign that a VIP day is going to be a good fit for you. And sometimes it's because a big opportunity just showed up and you need to explore how you're going to prioritize or reprioritize because maybe something has fallen into your lap that you're like, wow, I kind of had a full plate before, but this is too good to say no to. And so, how am I going to be in this season of growth? And maybe I need to recalibrate, or what's that going to feel like? Those are conversations where sometimes we would maybe hire an astrologer or work with an energy healer for like the side of us that wants to get connected and get clarity. And then maybe separately bring some questions and conversations to our business coach, right? But the two don't inform each other. And so the problem that a VIP day really solves is that you are one human being. And if you are a creative, intuitive, or spiritual being who happens to run a business and you are at any of these crossroads or points where you need to up your game in how you're planning, setting boundaries, prioritizing, tasking yourself, tasking others to move the ball forward, you know that you spend your day making decisions, holding space for clients, driving everything forward, but your own vision and direction can start to feel neglected. It's like, oh yeah, I should set aside time to meditate and really envision what this next offer is going to look like, but it's much easier to just tackle the fires that are happening, like put out the fires, tackle your to-do list, go through your inbox, right? And so oftentimes your priorities can feel scattered and you need clarity on what actually moves the needle from where you are right now, not where you were 6 months ago, not where you want to be 3 years from now, from the version of you now. What does it look like? The other thing I know about you is you don't need a strategy flavor of the month. You need one clear, grounded plan that honors your goals and your real capacity as a human being who has a limited bandwidth for whatever reason, whether you're working your business part-time, maybe you're a caretaker, maybe you have a full-time job, maybe you are homeschooling your child, maybe you have chronic health issues so that you really have to be honoring of your energy and capacity. For any of those reasons, having a highly customized plan as opposed to a cookie cutter plan is a must for you to reach your next level of where you want to be going in your business. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is involved in a rooted VIP day because I'm like, tell me what it's like. How much time am I carving out? What are we doing, right? So during a VIP day, it is 3 hours of us being together and it always flies by for both of us. It is a 3-hour intuitive business strategy intensive. So let's break apart what that looks like. It is a blend of energetic clarity and then tactical planning. So it's not just business coaching, it's not just an energy reading, it's all in one. The investment is $1,000. So there's only 2 spots available per month. If any of that has changed, availability or investment in the future, rely on my website. But as I record this, that is the current offering. And so how it flows, so you book onto my calendar, you make your payment, you get a confirmation. You're going to be sent pre-session planning forms so that we both arrive prepared. It's not going to take you hours, but you do need to ground into what are you trying to get out of this VIP day? So you're going to get also access to a workshop that kind of walks through the rooted planning method. You get access to any of the materials that are associated with that workshop, right? So you get some stuff that you can look at and also some things to fill out to help guide us in the process before we even show up. So by the time we get on that call, neither of us are starting from zero. If you're comfortable with it, you're also going to provide me with your birth date, time, and location so that I can use some software that I use. It is StarPath Oracle to pull up your birth chart. That's going to help us as we get into some specific questions. And I spend some time really with your materials and with your birth chart in advance to actually really be grounded into how to show up that will best support you in that time. So day of, we start with probably about the first 40 minutes is in your energy. We are doing an energy reading. I have developed a proprietary way of connecting you to your higher self, to the energetic imprint of your business, and channeling a conversation between the three of you. It is lovely, it is potent, it is really hard to describe because when we are in it, it is not me just channeling and then you get to process it later. You actually are able to ask questions. We are able to ask tactical questions like, should I be raising my prices? We are able to oftentimes get messages visually. I use a rose reading method to pull up the energetic imprint of your business onto a reading screen. It kind of, if you were to envision like going to a drive-in movie theater, so I'm able to call up visual representations on a reading screen. And then I'm also oftentimes, especially recently, receiving clear audience messages, so hearing messages. And so I'm able to hold space for that. During that time, we also might use muscle testing with a pendulum to ask yes or no questions. I might be guided to an oracle card deck that has a message for you. So this is really me holding space for you to have an energy reading experience about your business, right? It's oftentimes that you, if you are someone who's into this kind of thing, you might book an energy reading just for yourself. Like, tell me what's coming up in my life, or what is the theme of the next year, or, what do I need to know about changes coming up? You might even, tap into your own human design chart or astrology chart or pull cards for yourself to help connect to that spiritual intuitive side of who you are. We're able to do that, but to have it be around how you're meant to move and express yourself and lead this beautiful business that you've created. Once we have gained the clarity, what has come through, what has dropped in, what you've been reminded of based on the experience that we have together, at that point, we are both deeply invested in making sure that we protect the vision that you have come through with. And then we shift into 90 minutes of strategic planning, right? So we are going to use our time together. I get to be your fractional operations person for the next 90 minutes. We are going to walk through the rooted method of seasonal planning. We're going to decide together on what your number one priority is, on what your 3 supporting goals are. We are going to create an operations overview of your next 90 days, what you plan to automate, delegate, or build. And then we spend the rest of the time riffing on what questions you have. Like, you have me in the room. What do you not know about what you don't know, right? So from there, we can really drill into, you might say, okay, I need to make a training manual for the person I'm going to be hiring to take over this program. I don't know how to do that. Okay, cool. Let's pull up and create a template for you. Let's use this time to tackle the task that's on your list that feels daunting or feels like you have a learning curve. If it's something I can help you with, let's dive into that. So you leave not only with the experience and the energetic clarity, but you also are going to leave with a custom PDF roadmap and visual summary of your 90-day season that we are going to co-create. I'm going to hold you to boundaries that you've expressed you want some support on. I'm going to be your accountability buddy. I'm going to remind you with radical honesty of any limitations that you've expressed or any capacity concerns you have. And we are going to create the most realistic and exciting 90-day plan you've ever had for your business. Then you receive recordings of both the energy and strategic planning sessions. You get a visual business plan. So if you're a visual person, I got you. If you're a PDF person, I got you. You can walk away with spreadsheets or any templates that we work on during the call. You get a follow-up email with everything organized so that you can move forward without second guessing. And then you have the option to add on additional strategy sessions or consulting if we realize that there's a fit to keep working together, or a system that we've identified you really, really need that I know how to help you work on. Then I know your business so well, both from a strategic and an energetic standpoint. So I have had the honor of, supporting women from all different walks of life and different types of businesses in this type of VIP day. I'm just reflecting back on one. One was with a woman named Sean, and she was launching a brand new business. And her number one priority during the call was land my first client, land my first big client. And so then we had to work backwards on some of the top goals that she would need to have in the next 90 days to make that happen. And some of them were really outside her comfort zone. Some of them were very operational. And she's a creative genius, but not someone who's going to sit down and like make to-do lists. And she was open, and we got her to her edge and found ways that she could do this that would work for her brain and work for her energy. And don't you know it, before the 90 days was up, she messaged me on Instagram and said, like, I don't know how you did it, but you got me to stay focused for the 90 days, and I have my first client. And she does a much higher ticket sale. So it's like a very coordinated big event that she sells, and she had her first one. And it was just so exciting because I know that she was nervous that she wouldn't stay focused enough to do the actions that she would need to do, especially because she is multi-passionate and has multiple things that she does for income and interests. And she was able to do it. Another recent VIP day was with a woman, Lorraine, who's just an amazing woman. And she and I have had the chance to work together in a few different capacities. But in her VIP day, during the energy reading, a visual came through on the reading screen that was so clear and so distinct. And I was like, I don't know if this really makes sense to me, but I'm going to describe to you what I'm seeing. And what I described to her, she has messaged me several times since the VIP day saying, I keep that visual in my mind whenever I'm making decisions. And it is something that she had like literally changed the course of how she runs her business, just having this visual icon in her mind. And it's just been so amazing to see. Since then, she has spoken on a TEDx stage that was booked before the VIP day. And it was part of why she booked a VIP day. This amazing opportunity is falling into my lap. How do I focus on that and not drop balls on the things that I know are the core of my business? And how do I keep it all moving and create momentum? And she has been able to spin off some amazing, beautiful projects from her own speaking engagement, and is still doing the work that is her passion, which is supporting teens and young adults in developing their own leadership and their own leadership style, and seeing leadership in different parts of their life and parts of how they express themselves. And it's just been so amazing to watch from the outside. And of course, I email her once in a while just to be like, hey, what's going on? I need the skinny. What's happening? Because I really do care. In another VIP day, we were able to dive so deeply into emotional and energetic healing. We actually spent more of the time than I do with some clients on the energy reading. It was what that client needed in the moment. And we did walk away with some strategic and operations decisions, but it was a deep dive into who she is and how she was meant to continue showing up in her business, and really strong boundaries that all of her guides were like screaming. And she needed to hear it from someone and be held in that space. And it's been really lovely, again, just to follow her on social media and see that she really has been sticking to boundaries that we discussed and asking for help and creating a more sustainable experience of running the business. Now, these are all such different experiences. And, it's really been just such an honor to see how people show up. They show up to VIP days so differently. I'm just going to read a little message from Lorraine. I had asked her recently, what did you love about the VIP day? And she said, holy shit, what don't I love about that VIP day? It's so unique and special to how you work. I love the way you balance the real world and the intuitive world, maximizing efficiency of both. The reading was by far the most valuable part of the entire experience. I know it was needed and guided us into the planning, which is important to put into action, but I loved the visualization that came through during the reading so much. She was the one I mentioned. She said, I see it every time I think about my choices of how to guide my energy now. Our planning time allowed me space to work through a big question and pull in so much of me, my vision, and my business to create something super impactful and, more importantly, doable. That's the number one thing I hear from VIP days, is that people walk away feeling so confident that the plan we've created is doable, it's achievable, and they're able to follow through and get the result that they wanted because they feel so confident that if they just stay focused on what we have co-created as a plan, that it will come to be. Like, my goal is that by the end, you walk away with a plan that feels inevitable, that if you stay focused and are able to stay within your capacity, that we are going to see results, right? So some of the past VIP days have covered launch planning, offer strategy, operational planning, preparing to hire, pricing, clarity, seasonal business planning. The session is really shaped by what you bring. If it's part of your business world, we can work through it. If you need more time on the energy time, amazing. If we decide that you're maybe not as comfortable with some of the modalities of energy and you just want a short oracle card reading and then to jump into planning, amazing. Like we can really co-create what is going to be most supportive for you. So how this connects to the whole well-built business method is that the VIP day lives in the clear strategy and priorities pillar. It's about getting clear on what you're building, how decisions get made, and how to protect your capacity while you're growing. This is the pillar that everything else is built on. You can't streamline your marketing or fix your operations or master your client journey if you're not clear on where you're headed and what you want to see come from this beautiful co-creation of you with your business in this lifetime. So if any of this resonated, if you're in a season where you need to step out of the doing, get clear on direction, you want to blend the intuitive and strategic sides of you, I would love to be able to hold that space for you. I only open 2 spots per month. The link is in the show notes, of course. And if you're not sure whether a VIP day or a business systems audit is the right fit, there are FAQs on my website on the services page that break down the difference, or just feel free to reach out and ask. If this episode supported you in some way, opened your mind, got you brainstorming, I would genuinely appreciate if you left a review. It helps more founders who are ready for this level of work actually find the show. And if someone specific came to mind while you were listening, send it to them. The best businesses are built in rooms where people share what's actually working with each other. If you do share this episode onto social media, I'd love to see your takeaway, so make sure to tag me, Well Built Business, on most accounts so I can connect with you and reshare it. The Well Built Business podcast isn't about doing more, it's about building better. And I'm really glad you're here. I'll see you next week.